Welcome to our video series for NAUI North, Tips and Techniques. Today's video is going to be part of our first aid series, and it's called First Aid in Winter Income. All of us as NAUI professional members are all first aid trained and certified. Some of us are first aid instructors. Today's video, the idea is to help find new ways of income or increase ways that we're already using for income during the winter months. Sitting here in Canada, you notice the fireplace is on. It's cold. Not a lot of local diving activities happening when the ice is on the lakes. It's a great time to do other things. A lot of Canadians will travel south. Doesn't always bring a lot of money into our coffers as far as this time of year, so we look for other ideas and opportunities. During the winter, there's still lots of other things we can do, but our costs tend to be the same year-round for a lot of items, but certain things like heat and other utilities, pool rentals, are actually higher. So we need to bring some extra income in to compensate for that and compensate for not selling as many dive courses and such. Very important to cover these costs, whether you're an independent instructor working out of your house or a facility or anything in between. We all have costs. We want to cover them. So today I'm hoping to give you an idea of how you can bring perhaps a little extra income into your particular organization. First aid courses can be a great opportunity to make money, and we all know that. And some of us see it as more of a burden, and some of us see it as an opportunity, and that's okay however you want to look at it. Part of being a healthy community is making sure that we have first aid skills for our friends and neighbors, and mitigating our liability as an instructor or as a dive business. We certainly need to have those skill sets available. By taking advantage of our alliance between NAUI and DAN, we have such great opportunities as NAUI instructors and dive masters to be able to do this. A nice idea, if you've seen the video last week, it talked about e-learning, and because the standards that are put out, we can certainly cater to people quite well with our NAUI DAN alliance by using a combination of e-learning and in-person skills practice. Very effectively, in a 4-hour session, I can finish certifying somebody after they've done all their other activities if it's for basic life support. It's a great way to do it. So what I was hoping to do is to be able to take an opportunity and just look at 5 possible ways you can bring in income during this winter months. Hopefully they're food for thought and an opportunity for you. If you have extras, please pass them on. I'd like to share them with others. We all know about the basic life support course, basic first aid we try to put on for people. Instead of just offering it as we normally do, perhaps an opportunity is to go out to our divers and make it a fun night and say, hey, I know you're not going south, looking for something to do. Here's a fun way to learn first aid. We do our e-learning on the side. We have a fun skills night, and I tend to make them theme-based. This Wednesday, we're going to be doing a first aid skills night, and it is going to be set in Thailand. I'll have some Thailand treats and sweets, and it's going to be a nice little opportunity to make it kind of fun for those who aren't going south this week. We all know about the first aid course, so I'm not going to go along about that one. It's more of an opportunity to get you an idea of, how could I get people to come out? And that was just one particular one. Another way to look at first aid courses is to take small companies. I personally have 4 different corporations that I teach first aid for on the side. One would say, well, how does that tie into diving? Well, depending on your areas, and most of us have requirements for first aid personnel on site, depending on the jurisdiction you live in. I live in Ontario, and we have certain absolute rules that must have a certain number of first aid people. So every company of any size has somebody that's a first aid person on site. So what we have done personally, and myself as well as my dive club that I belong to, is we've taken the opportunity to get out there and get some corporate first aid courses. They're very responsive to this because A, they have to have it, B, I can make it fun, C, it's flexible, we can go to them, they can come to us. And a lot of your traditional first aids are still teaching 2 days worth of lecturing where you need to send your staff off site. That's very difficult for a lot of companies to take that many personnel out of their system. For them, it's the cost of that time loss more so than the cost of the first aid. So we just need to be competitively priced, not the cheapest, not the most expensive, just competitively priced. And it's fairly simple to get those contracts. A good way to get an in with that is ask your divers, where do you work? What do you guys do for first aid? Can you introduce me to your health and safety person, your first aid person. It usually is called health and safety in most areas. And ask. And if you need help on how to do that or how to put a quote together, let me know. We've been moderately successful. I mean, we could probably get others that for us satisfied us. The beauty of that is I can schedule them ahead of time. They always want to be scheduled. And I put them in the time slots where we have very little other things going. February. And in February, we have a lot of pool costs. We have heating costs. It's nice to have that extra money coming in. And generally speaking, we could bring in almost $500 a week above cost just by doing first aid courses on the side for that short period of time. Point to ponder. So when we're looking at that, it's really something that you may not feel comfortable with. And if you don't, please contact me. I'd be happy to help you with it. Getting back to our divers, remember they all work somewhere. Ask them if they need first aid for work. Use it as an opportunity. In addition, we can take our divers and look at who we taught last year and who's aspiring to move up to advanced rescue, master diver, dive master, and get them excited during the winter months. So, I mean, if you're in an area like me where there's just not much happening outdoors for them and pool time is limited and expensive, it's a nice way to make it exciting. Hey, let's talk about your rescue diver course and step 1, step 2, step 3. Step 1 is let's get you signed up for that course, and here's the components of it. Step 1, we get you signed up. Step 2 is you get your first aid done. Step 3 is we'll do a few pool skills. Step 4, we do some theory. Step 5, the ice is off the lake. We'll finish you up and you become a certified rescue diver in June or May or whatever your area dictates. The point to ponder. Add the first aid in, because otherwise people say, well, if I'm not going to start my rescue till June, I'll wait till June. So your income in February is 0. Where if you start it with a process, and look at Angelo at a recent meeting, actually it was at DEMA in November, mentions a really good idea about using mission as a concept for people. So the mission is to get them a rescue diver. The stages in the mission are what I was discussing. That's just a good idea. If that works for your organization, great. Again, if you need to expand on that point, let me know. Let me see if I can help you. That's what I'm here for. Another idea is run a first aid instructor course. You may say, hey, I'm not qualified. I'll come to you. No problem. Run it in your facility. While they're there, maybe they'll buy a mask. Or if you're an independent instructor working out of your house, great. Make it a fun social at your house. If those don't work, I can have you come to me or we can work out what the next plan is. There's no problem. I can help you. We can make you a first aid instructor. We can get first aid instructor trainers in your area. That's what we do. Another idea to get them up their juices going. And you may be somebody who's working towards their instructor and part 1, part 2, just like I said about a rescue diver or the other one. So you can make it part of that mission plan to get them in place and bring a bit of revenue in during these slower months. Another idea is running a first aid course with a trip theme. I've had a bit of success with this. Again, I've already alluded to this coming Wednesdays. Thailand, first aid. A lot of, in my area, a lot of people do tend to go south during the winter, and I think that's typical of a lot of the northern U.S. and northern Canada, and parts of Europe that are in the northern parts as well. People want to get away during the winter months. Other parts of the world, your winter months are opposite to ours, and you'd have the same situation. Well, maybe if you have travelers, a lot of times when we've talked to people about first aid, yeah, I did my first aid 2 years ago. Well, that's pretty good. Yeah, it was boring. Or they'll go, yeah, I did first aid 20 years ago. I'm not doing that until I have to again. Well, that's unfortunate because the whole community loses. The community of divers, the community of people that live next to you, your friends, your family. The more people that are first aid trained can only help society, never mind diving. Again, it helps mitigate our liabilities, but in addition, it helps build a better community. So a nice idea is to make your diving first aid or non-diving first aid, because let's remember, the human body doesn't transcend itself when it gets to scuba. I kind of wish it did. I wouldn't have to carry tanks all the time. But the reality is the body I'm sitting here today in and the body that I'm going diving in and the body when I'm at the office, same body, same first aid. Scenarios change. We can customize the scenarios, whether it be in a corporate environment for like one of my companies I deal with, it's in a warehouse and a product development company. Another is a healthcare providing company that I go to, and another one is a communications company. And there's a few others I do, but each one I go, I can make specific, unique skills that tie directly to what they're doing. It's a very simple thing to do. You take CPR in a tropical area, CPR in a warehouse. Things change, okay? So we can tie that in, and by making it a fun going, hey, first aid in Thailand for one evening only in Barrie, Ontario. What? Make it fun. You find you build it up, bring in a bit of food, charge a little extra. I have the local restaurant for $10 a person more. We have a buffet of wonderful food, and we're just going to have fun doing it. It's going to be a really special evening. Anyway, today is just a few minutes of trying to get you to think about first aid and possibly income streams. And if this tips and techniques worked for you, super. I really hope it does. Please share any successes with me. And if you're not a first aid instructor, or you don't have the first aid resources, the training materials, and teaching materials available, mannequins, O2 kits, whatever, I'm happy to come to you. So we can figure that. You can come to me, I can come to you, we can meet in the middle. Everything's possible. Look at the opportunity, and then let's get the details sorted out. You'll know how to get a hold of me, but if you have any questions or comments, it's bdoran@nowi.org. Thanks for listening. Keep the ideas flowing. And thank you. Yours in Fun Safe Diving, Bill.